Welcome back to the Nearly Literate podcast. Thank you guys if you're with us today. If you're listening or you're watching us on YouTube, you might notice that we've got some changes. And we started out, we've been podcasting a year now. We started out kind of as a lark. Our first name was Motherboy Podcast, which I think we unanimously agreed on that until somebody didn't like it. And I'm not naming names, but we all know it was Daniel, my middle son. And so we changed over Christmas of 2023. 2024, we started on YouTube. Lots of complicated equipment. And the moment we just kind of hit our stride, it took us a while to set it up. The moment we hit our stride, what happened?
Dan got a new job and moved to North Carolina.
Yeah.
So he's no longer with us. He's dead. He's dead to me. He's dead to my mother. He went to the South to fight for the Confederacy. So, you know.
He is in the South, and we're Northerners, as you can tell. That's the state of Michigan. I like to shout out to my wonderful author friend, Holly Danvers, Sherry Lynn. She goes by other names, but Sherry, I'm going to say, painted that for me, but that's Michigan. We're Northerners. Dan is in the South. So
yeah,
what that did...
some people, they like collecting stamps, cars, video games, and some people like to collect people. And that's Dan right now. He's in the South. He's fighting for the Confederacy.
Is he really? He's actually working, Matthew. He has a job there.
He's not working.
He has a job there.
He's not doing anything.
Anyhow, we have put the podcast on hold. It's one of these things where we really had to think about how we were going to do this moving forward. Because Dan is our engineer. He's the one that kind of handled all our tech. Matt, you're sort of techie, but I'm really not techie. But we thought we have such a fun podcast. It was a mother-son podcast. We are changing that up a little bit now.
Yeah.
We are a mother and a son. Dan might come on as a guest or as a, if he's around, if he actually comes back home, we might have him on a little bit again because he does add that Danielness to the podcast when we would interview authors and we would talk to other interesting people. We had Dan, but we have a new member of the podcast who is our new technician, our new engineer, and he really is an engineer in real life as well. So we've swapped out one engineer for another engineer, both engineers, Geno Chandler, and we were so excited to have him taking this journey with us because. Geno, Geno, wave
Hello.
to the camera. Geno, I hope you can see Geno right now. He has been a longtime friend of Matt's. They are funny together, so they do a lot of their own comedy. Now, I will say, when they're together, it is kind of crazy, and I can't guarantee that this podcast is not going to go off the rails at some point.
Oh, it always will.
We are going to try to still have our fun interviews and be professional.
I guess you could say we have unconventional comedy.
Yeah.
Unconventional comedy.
We just jump from one thing to another thing. Keep the flow of the conversations always going.
Are you guys you guys are millennials, right?
No, I think we're technically Gen Z.
I guess it's debatable.
It's debatable.
You're younger.
96.
If you look it up.
96. You're like as much as a millennial as I am a boomer.
I don't know about that.
I'm at the very
I'm
the tail end of that year.
I think you're solidly put in boomer.
There's nothing wrong with being first of all, I just want to say
there's a lot of things wrong with being a boomer.
There's nothing wrong with being a boomer. I mean, it gets a lot of bad rap these days. I've been called, when I was working at the library, by the younger ladies, younger girls, our pages, loved them dearly, but I would ask them to do something when I did work at a library. Now I'm an author. I just put books in libraries. But they'd be like, okay, boomer, and I thought it was funny, and then you're like, Mom, it's not really a good thing.
Yeah, that's rough. So I wouldn't really say. I mean, what year were you born?
Well, I would give away my age.
Okay, well, never mind that. I mean, I know for Geno and I, it's hard because it depends on the source you go to. Some people have said 96 is still like millennial.
Well, yeah, a lot of people think that 2000 is when Gen Z starts, but I don't know.
Yeah, and then sometimes they're like, it's not 96, Gen Z starts at 96.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really weird.
If you go to the Wikipedia page, actually,
pull it up.
This is the perfect time for that.
Oh my gosh! So Geno is like giving us this big screen. You at home can't see. this, but we are actually staring at a big screen.
Yeah, we got a TV set up.
I can actually switch to the camera now.
Oh, Gen Z.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we have analytics on the side there.
Can you still see it?
We can see it.
Yeah, they can see it too.
Okay, so here, what do we got?
Oh, the silent generation. What is that?
Yeah, see, look, it's like 96 is like the cutoff, at least according to this.
Oh,
this
so
is, you know.
And before the generation, the longest generation.
Wait, what the hell is
the greatest generation?
Oh,
that
that's
is,
what they call it.
I have never seen this before because I was wondering what my mother was. I'm like, she's definitely not a baby boomer.
Oh, the silent generation?
She's a silent. Why are they silent?
Because they didn't say shit.
No, they did live through a nice time. I was talking about that.
Didn't say anything.
Whenever I go,
they ate food and put things in Jell O. That's all they did.
Well, they did back in that day. Jell O was like a big fun thing, you know.
I don't think it. I think it was.
I mean,
you think women knew about hot chip back then?
No, I don't think they did. I think they knew about hot Jell O though.
No, Jell O's always called.
Like you seen like the. It probably was really fun, but honestly, they went a little crazy with that shit.
Okay, wait. Here's the thing. Oh yeah,
like they were like, oh my God, they have molds for Jell O.
I think back in the day it was called aspic, and it was like a savory thing, and it was like, I mean, have you ever seen head cheese? It's like, isn't it just? Can you
What's
type in head cheese?
What's head cheese?
Yeah,
I
don't know what the hell that
it's just
is.
like all kinds of animal parts in kind of like a gelatin. It's so gross. I think it's called head cheese. Yeah, there it is. I've never had it. I can't ever. Yeah. But do you see how it's like gelatinous? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
To some people,
what do you think this person's eating this at? This got to be like Wisconsin or something.
Okay, this is giving me ideas for because I do put a lot of recipes in the novels I write.
New Orleans. Okay. Restaurant.
Oh, it's Germania. It says Europe, perhaps ancient Germania. Cold cut. Oh, I see. Oh, or meat jelly. That's right. That originated in Europe.
Ugh.
Back in the day, though, this is the thing. This is how our tastes have changed. They didn't have Taco Bell. They didn't have hot chip, whatever that is. I have no idea what you're talking about when you say hot chip, Geno.
All I know how to do is eat hot chip and lie.
Back in the day, this was a delicacy. People ate like organ meats. That was a very big delicacy. I remember growing up, and I've never subjected my own family to this, but we had liver and onions, like it maybe at least
honestly,
once a
okay,
month.
like pate. Like liver.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. It's pretty weird. It's weirdly good. With like crackers.
I think that's goose pate that we eat, or duck pate. It was like literally beef liver. And I think people of that, let's say the silent generation and maybe early baby boomers still really enjoy that. Very interesting though, but this is like, so what they would do is they take all that leftover part of the animal, put it in, aspic right there, typically set in aspic.
Okay.
And usually eaten cold at room temperature or in a sandwich. And aspic
is
like
that's a food crime.
Right.
That's a crime.
It's a precursor
There's
to
hard-boiled eggs in the fucking Jell O. It's like meat Jell O.
I'm going to try
That's literally what it is.
Yeah,
this is what I'm telling you.
Meat jelly.
Yes,
yeah, dude, that Orlando picture. Go back to that. Not Orlando.
Aspic with chicken.
New Orleans picture. That really does not do justice at all.
Sorry, what?
Go the New Orleans
That's
picture.
Head cheese.
On the right.
We're all pointing
look at
towards
that. Okay,
screen.
does that look like gelatin to you? Right, like right now.
No, but it's like very meaty. You can still buy that. Like I've stood at the deli counter and people have bought that.
That looks like a hearty German meal.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's like a sausage without the actually fine grinding.
That looks good. Now go back to the other picture.
That looks good.
Now go back to aspect.
I guess I'm buying head cheese.
Yeah, look at that.
But okay, it does not look good.
What the fuck is that?
There's a hard-boiled egg.
Aspic.
Yeah, I don't know. Is there like bones in there too?
No,
like, what's going on?
It's like, dude, they got like a whole English breakfast in this fucking Jell O right now.
Where's this from? Look at the gherkins. Do you see the gherkins in there? The little tiny pickles.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And then it
right
looks like
there.
there's maybe some like little cheese chunks and whatever. So
my gosh.
To somebody, this is like an amazing. Look at the history.
Yeah. Here we go.
Maybe they shouldn't
According
have
to the
spoke.
poetic reference of Ibram, I can't pronounce that, who described a version of a dish prepared with Iraq carp. It was like ruby on the platter, set in pearl, steeped in saffron, thus like garnet. It looks vibrantly red, shimmering on silver. Well, he's just waxing lyrical about some kind of jellied meat stuff. But
who wrote this?
I don't know. This is a very ancient type of thing. So
some autistic
what
person,
is Jell-O?
man.
So
I don't know.
no, so years ago, like that was a big thing. Like think about
Imagine
it.
you get that. You're
Think about the first person who thought to put like meat in this gooey liquid that when it solidifies holds its shape, right?
okay, well, it's not a gooey liquid. First of all, I'm pretty sure it's just a way for the government to get rid of all the bones they collected.
This is
no, I'm serious. You know,
Jell-O.
no, it's not.
Yes, it is. This is an ancient. This is like before Jell-O. This is look
Wow.
at that
What
fish.
is that? Crab?
No, that's
fish.
fish in aspect. That would be like a very fancy meal in the 18th century.
But isn't the aspect in Jell-O made out of bone?
Well, yes, and that what they've done is they've probably some kind of. I don't know the. Like
You
I'm just
strip-
talking.
okay,
I'm just
so
talking out of my mouth, but I don't know the specifics on how they actually started to do it. I'm not really good with ancient cooking, but I do know about this. I know the sailors, like if you were the captain of a ship and you had your own personal cook back in the age of sail, 18th century, this would be like one of those fancy dishes. Like let's say you're out at sea and you come up on another big ship and the captain decides to pull on over with his, gets rowed over by his coxswain and
Pork jelly.
you would serve him this and he'd be like, this captain, oh my God, this captain is eating large. Pork jelly is an aspect made from low-grade cuts of pig meat, such as trotters. Do you know what a trotter is? Do you guys know what a trotter is? Come here.
No, I've never heard of that.
Matthew, what is a
I
trotter?
don't give a shit. I'm looking at this absolute abomination to food right
so
now.
I guess
like
we'll
we're
have
like,
to
all
make
right. So
it.
those who are listening to this, we scroll down. There's a section that says pork jelly, and to the side there's a picture of the pork jelly.
Oh my God.
It's got a red pepper. That is disgusting.
Mrs. Hannah, how did you know to find something so funny right off the bat?
Geno, like I just do have a weird knowledge. I'm just not gonna lie. What I think about during my normal day.
So we're talking about the
not
silent generation. This
always-
is what they created.
No.
This is all boomers brought.
Yeah, this is all they
all the
This is
boomers
all they
ever
amount.
did for
This is all they
anybody.
amounted
let
to.
me
This is
tell
what
you
they
what
amounted
boomers.
to. Do you know?
No, let me tell you what boomers did.
Oh,
This,
Oh.
the greatest generation
bump the camera.
and
Keep
before
talking.
might have made this, right? This is probably a very European, very Englishy thing. This is a fancy putting chunks of meat back to back up a little bit. A trotter
Okay.
is a pig feet,
Oh.
what they trot on.
Okay.
So pig feet are in here. Now, when I was a kid, my grandma used to eat pickled pig's feet, and they did have a gelatinous thing in there. And I remember as a kid eating these. She'd pull them out of a jar. She was Swedish.
Are they
And
good?
she'd like, I was a child. My mother.
Is that camera working?
Yeah, it says 89%. Sorry.
Okay.
We have a little,
All right.
sometimes, well, and here's, we're going to have bumps in the road as we start
Yeah, you
this
probably
journey.
need a
But
new camera.
no, but my mother never bought them, so that's how much we love them. But I did have some, and they were like okay. I mean, but people used to eat things like that because they would eat every part of the
But
animal.
why the Jell-O though? Like why
It held me
encase it in Jell-O?
together. So like it held me together. So maybe the first like that head cheese is a cold cut. That might be
Yeah.
like one of the original cold cuts. It's all this stuff held in a Jell-O, and you slice it, and it's got all kinds of stuff in it. I've never had it, never had the courage to have it, but I know there's probably listeners out there who are like, oh my God, you're talking about head cheese. That's my favorite. If you're out there and you're listening, honk. If you love head cheese, honk right now.
I think that might be a minority.
Yeah. All right. So, but back to the history of it. What the
Okay.
boomers did is they took this,
Okay.
they flavored it. Boomer. Remember how boomers love advertising? They love
Yeah.
coming up with corporations and food corporations. Like we had all the greatest.
Right.
We had all like. Did you see the Pop-Tart movie yet?
No.
What?
Yeah. Jerry,
Oh my God!
Jerry,
it's called Frosted. Jerry Seinfeld
Jerry Seinfeld has a Pop-Tart movie.
on Netflix.
Is it
Go ahead, Google it.
Oh my God.
Okay, it is kind
It's
of.
very. It's so stupid, dude. It looks
say,
so dumb. From my
Is it supposed to be a serious movie?
No,
Unfrosted?
No, it's
no,
not
it's
a
a
serious
comedy drama.
Okay.
It just kind of points that it's set in the 60s, and it's set here in Michigan, which I really applauded because it's all about Battle Creek.
Okay.
And our two big cereal companies, Post and Kellogg's, that are battling it out, trying to have the best breakfast, sugary, disgusting thing. Although back then it wasn't sugary, disgusting. They were trying to market to kids. Like I tried to explain this, and they They started in my generation. Like my mother grew up without a TV. That was the silent generation, as I now just learned. After the greatest generation, they solidified our freedom in the wars. The silent generation were children. They started to get TV. Then the reason TV was free is because brilliant advertisers are like, hey, we're gonna have this thing that's gonna come into your house, and it's gonna be free, and we're gonna have some fun shows and programming. And I think before TV, it was the radio show. So people had radios; they'd sit around the radio and listen to radio shows, and these radio shows would be like people would voice act them, much like our like a podcast in a way, but it would be much like listening to a book on tape, but it would be a story voice acted.
I know what they are.
And then it was brought to you by like Ovaltine or Aspic Jello, like head
Talking
cheese.
about like radio stories.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're really cool.
That's what War of the Worlds was.
War of the
Worlds was like a radio thing.
Yes, and the old ones were brilliant. I remember when I was a kid listening to some late at night when we were traveling. My dad would be listening to an AM radio station, and we'd listen to some crazy thing. And it was really entertaining. I think I listened to Sherlock Holmes story. Anyhow,
hey, what religion is this guy?
I don't know.
I wonder.
Okay, you two. This is a family
Does it say
show.
up there?
Is it a family show? No, we swear this, so we can't really have it a family show. But we try not to swear. But we do. You slip. I know, man. I mean, I know the Gen Zs or the millennials they're a little
we just don't care.
We
about
let it
everything.
rip.
Yeah, we let it rip. We let it go free.
But let's get back to you're just looking at Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Back up.
No.
Jerry
We're
Seinfeld
cool.
is very funny.
It's okay.
Like an observant comedy. But that's what
Wait,
it said.
no, it's okay.
You're gonna read Jerry Seinfeld?
No.
Okay, there's Unfrosted.
We were about to watch the Pop-Tart movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. You can even pay. Do you want to play a trailer? If you can find a trailer, but let me
That's so
tell you
stupid.
why.
You want to watch the trailer?
Yeah.
So
What-
let me set this up a little bit because this
Okay.
reminds me. You guys are talking about.
Mom, is this a movie for boomers?
Yeah, I'm going to say, I think that when I was a kid, so it's set in the 60s, and it was funny. I will say it was pretty hilarious. It's ridiculous. Now we know that sugary cereals are bad for you. But back in the day, when I was a kid, my brothers and I would get up early on Saturday morning. We'd watch cartoons, and in between, and it's the same today, was just commercial after commercial for sugar cereal. And so when my parents would wake up, because they would literally give us, there would be a box of cereal on the counter and cereal bowls, and then we'd get our milk and we'd eat cereal and watch cartoons, and then we'd want different cereals because in between each of our great favorite cartoons, they would try to market us more sugary cereals. This kind of thing is kind of a mockery of that. I'm going to say it's super funny, but it's all about the Pop-Tart and how the Pop-Tart changed breakfast.
Yeah, well, the food industry is crazy. I mean, there's like a whole. I mean, so many things have been pushed just to sell food, right?
Well, I mean, think about. Did you?
And push like the biggest one I know is like the milk.
Yeah, dude, the milk mafia, man.
The milk mafia. You know about the milk?
Oh, they talk
Dude,
about
you
that
gotta talk
in
to
here.
my dad, dude. He knows
Wait,
all
is
about
it
the
for
milk
real?
mafia.
Like, what are you
Yes.
talking about?
Dude,
It's like a lobby, basically, the dairy lobby.
Yeah,
The
the
dairy.
government. You know, the government has
It's American Dairy, right?
Yes,
called
but the
American
Got
Dairy?
Milk thing
Yeah.
came from the U.S. government subsidizing milk.
Okay, can I tell you
And
that?
then hold on, real quick. The government has an entire reserve of cheese
Right.
in the mountain.
Yeah, she would know about the government cheese.
Yeah, you would know about the government cheese.
Right. My generation loved that.
You
stuff.
got
No,
Kraft Singles.
Kraft single.
That's where it came from.
Well, and it's hardly
Government cheese.
Is that even cheese? But that would.
Yeah,
I think
it's
that
cheese.
was like a handout.
They
and
keep the good shit for when the world goes to shit, so
Well,
they can have it for themselves. You know?
It's a source of it's a source of food in case something happens, or like if you're poor and you're down in your luck. They used to. Do you remember that?
I think that
Chris
was,
Farley. Was living in a van down by the river
Yeah.
eating government cheese. Like that was. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
Geno?
no, my
Yeah.
dad ate the government cheese. Like, he grew up on that.
Yes, and like my mother today, her biggest thing is like I'll go to the store and like we're all trying to be much more conscious of what we're eating, and we've been pretty good about that as a family. But she's like, "Can you get me Velveeta? That's my favorite." She loves Velveeta toasted cheese sandwiches. That was what she grew up on. One, like a soft white bread and Velveeta. I'm like, no, I'm not buying Velveeta for you because that is kind of like a government cheese, right? You think?
Well, I don't know because there's a lot of cuts down there. I'm not a cheese expert, and I'm not a cheese expert either.
We're talking about,
but I think they quite literally have like cheese rolls with like cheddar, like every cheese. Every cheese is
cool,
down there.
though. I mean,
and then they had too much of it, so then they came up with
the government cheese mines.
Yeah, the government cheese mines.
Okay, that I've never heard of. We will look into that.
I think it was during like Reagan's presidency or something. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but basically the milk industry was producing way too much milk, so the government like basically guaranteed that they would buy all the milk.
Oh, and they made cheese.
And they made cheese, but they had to find a place to put all this cheese because people weren't buying it.
That is so interesting.
They put it in this mine, like this abandoned mine.
That's
let me look that
wow,
up.
that is really fascinating.
Well, Michigan has them too. They have the salt mines down there. They put a bunch of stuff in.
And we have the cheese and the salt mines. That's interesting.
Yeah, there's a bunch of abandoned mines.
Cheese caves.
But cheese caves. Oh my God, government cheese caves.
Yeah, there we go.
But no, here's the thing. Okay, so it's food surplus. That's really cool, though.
Yep, there you go.
That's like, you know what this looks like to me? This looks like.
Yeah, that looks like some good cheese.
Yeah,
Springfield, Missouri.
Oh, I know where that is. That looks like when you go to Italy and they show
there he
you.
is.
There he is. Okay.
Well, I think the reason why
I think that's actually really nice. If
people remember Reagan is because I think he's the one who brought out the cheese to like give to people. Because I don't think it was under his presidency that they actually put all the cheese in there.
No,
I think it was like a post World War II thing. Like
this is
not
wait.
the-
No,
not
this
sure.
is
Yeah,
not
sure.
post
I think
World War II.
No, the whole cheese buying the cheese up.
Well, the American
strategic cheese reserve.
American dairy. I
Oh my
think
God.
my dad was.
Dude, look at that.
Yeah, look at oh my
Taylor
God,
Swift
Taylor
got
Swift
milk
got
ad?
milk. What year is that from? Circa what?
2008.
Because I think my dad used to work on the American Dairy ads. He was that's what he did.
Yeah, but the
So I grew up with some of the Got Milk ads and stuff.
But Mom, like as an adult, like drinking straight up cow's milk is like not the greatest for you.
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to disagree with you there.
Yeah, people on the internet will yell at you.
I'm going to disagree with you.
Raw milk. It's the way to go.
Really?
No,
Yeah, seriously.
Here's the thing.
I want to hear what she has to say.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think different people can tolerate milk. And if you look at, and I do think this has something to do with genetics. Don't get mad at me, but I think Northern Europeans, they used milk as a food source through the cold, dark winters. If you lived more towards the Mediterranean, and your genetics developed around that area where it was warm and sunny, and you had like fish, and you had really you had produce almost year round. Maybe you can't tolerate it as much, but like my grandmother was Scandinavian, and she ate butter, milk, and cheese, lived to 92, never had a problem, and it was never skim milk. It was always whole milk, whole cream, and real butter.
Yeah, the fat dude.
And so then there was a war against it. But I think it's like up to people. I think if you stop eating it and then you try to eat it again, you might have an issue with it. But I really think, and now they're really pushing nut milks, and I'm like, that's not milk.
No, I don't think it's that good for you.
Can't milk a nut. It's not really milk.
I think
Milk and nut, yeah.
What you want me? But that is destroying the dairy industry.
Watch me.
Yeah. So now it's like there's a big push soy milk.
Oat milk.
Yeah, and I'm not.
Avocado milk.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's not real.
No.
That'd be cool.
Yummy.
Yummy.
I love almonds. Not sure what I think about soybeans, but literally, I will not ever use those.
I remember when I was going through school, Jen. Do you remember this too? They gave you the food pyramid, and like fats were like in the red.
It was still a thing when we were in school. It's food pyramid.
Well,
yeah, but it was like they were saying that like fats were like the worst for you.
Yeah,
but
you want very little, right?
And like meat too, but then like complex carbs were
the whole bottom of the pyramid was basically saying that like majority of your calories should come from, maybe not a majority, but most of the food that you eat should be carbs.
Yes, because
Right.
and you know what?
Yeah, but that's not like.
Well, there's so many different diets.
I don't think that's necessarily the greatest for you, though. Like,
I totally agree. I don't think that the food pyramid, in my opinion, was just total propaganda.
Oh, 100%.
That's so interesting.
Because they want you to buy sugar. They want you to buy sugar.
Well, because it goes back to the Pop-Tart movie, and we're talking about the Boomers, right?
We're back to Jerry.
I'm going to bring this
again.
back.
It always comes back to the Seinfeld.
We digress, but this is the lesson. You guys are talking about Jell O. We're really talking about Jell O here. The Boomers took sugar and food coloring, put it in gelatin, branded it Jell O, and came out with cookbooks on how to use Jell O. And I made one, I made one of these for you. I even put one in one of my books, and it was like hilarious. I think people asked me about, oh my gosh, that Jell O recipe you put in one of your Beacon Bake Shop books is one of my series that I write. It has like, it's just, maybe it was the one with, I think you take cottage cheese and Cool Whip, and you just have the Jell O, and you put, and it's just Jell O. You don't put any water in it. You just sprinkle the Jell O on top of it. You stir it up, and you put a drained can of, mandarin oranges, like the canned of so it's nothing good for you, but is it delicious?
I mean, it rocks.
You put it in the refrigerator, you let it set, and you're like, what is? Oh, it has marshmallows in it too.
Yeah, it's marshmallows,
sugar,
cottage cheese, sugar.
Maybe it does not have Cool Whip, because Cool Whip, again, what the hell is that? Like, that's not
whipped
whipped cream. We use it in, but anyhow.
Cool Whip.
So Geno, I don't know if you had the same experience, but growing up, so the Boomers were marketed this beautiful sugary gelatin. So that's why we think of Jell O.
Yeah.
We think of something like head cheese or meat in aspic as disgusting, because we only know Jell O as that sugary Jell O wiggly Jell O shots.
Yeah.
Right.
I've never had one, but I'm sure you boys probably have. Yeah.
They're gross. Don't have one.
Yeah.
They're honestly, if you find
they are gimmicky.
If it's 4 in the morning and you find yourself getting a Jell O shot, like, it's time to go home.
Yeah. Reevaluate.
Go home.
Reevaluate your life.
Reevaluate. Go to church tomorrow.
Buy a Pop-Tart.
Go talk to your pastor about your Jell O shot experience and repent a little bit, because honestly, I think you might be a little.
Some people love Jell O shots, Matt. That's what they live for.
Bit. I think you hate yourself a little bit if you're going for a Jell O shot, because nothing more in this world, like, makes me want to go. Like, I would rather do something else
than a Jell O shot.
Take a Jell O shot. Like, I would rather ingest alcohol, like, not in a slimy way. Like, if you choose the slime way of ingesting alcohol, you got to be kidding me.
Well, think about it. You're putting it in Jell O. You're putting alcohol in Jell O, so you're making it really sugary.
It's a slime.
Really easy.
Like, vodka already tastes bad.
But
then you want it. So you're telling me you want it to be like thick water? You want it to taste like thick water?
Aren't they supposed to be chilled? Yeah. They're not just water. A Jell O shot is a jiggly Jell O, right?
The alcohol makes it a weird weird consistency. Okay. It's not a hard Jell O. Okay, it is more like a pudding type Jell O.
Oh yeah, no.
And it is just so much alcohol.
Yeah, no.
And it just never goes down well. No. Because it tastes like slime.
Okay, so when I was a kid, they had something called Knox blocks. So Knox is a gelatin. You buy Knox as a gelatin. And you would make a pack of Jell O, and you put an extra pack of gelatin in it. And then you put it in a little pan, like a little baking dish or whatever, refrigerate it, and they would be really almost like gummy bears. There's a Jell O thing.
Yeah, what is it called?
Oh, my God. Look at that layered Jell O. See what I'm saying? Now, I've had that. The rainbow ribbon mold Jell O. My mom used to make that.
Yeah, that's definitely a boomer
delicious.
thing. That looks awesome, though.
Yeah, look at the sparkling Jell O dessert. I mean, Jell O is good. But again, is it good for you?
No.
The gelatin itself is pure protein, right?
No, I don't think it has anything in it.
Oh, does Jell O?
No, I don't think
it doesn't.
I mean, it might be protein. I mean, I know that Jell O is essentially or gelatin is like an animal product, right?
No, I think it's just cellulose.
Right, because if you're vegan,
it's like literally, like okay, look it up.
Wait, look at those little House of Nash eats.
I'm pretty sure Jell O is bone. Jell O is bone.
Yeah, I think you're right.
With all
finger Jell O, that's what they call it.
With all the calcium taken out of it, like it's dried, broken up into.
Gelatin is gelatin that's been dried. Oh no, gelatine. That they're talking to you about a product. Sheets of gelatin. That they use in cooking quite a bit. Like gelatin can firm up a jelly or.
I saw how it's made on this, and it was like cow bone. And it was just like stripped
taken from animal body parts.
Yes.
Collagen. It's collagen.
There you go.
So it's like connective tissue.
Connective tissue, yeah. Translucent, colorless, flavorless food ingredient commonly derived from collagen taken from animal body part. Oh, wonderful. Well, it's a way to eat. It is brittle when dry and rubbery when moist. It may also be referred to as I can't pronounce it right now.
Hydrolysate.
Collagen hydrolysate. Gelatin hydrolysate and hydrolyside gelatin. Yeah. Whatever. Anyhow,
you're a writer. You're a writer.
Well, sometimes I can see words.
You're
and
right, Geno.
I'm older now. It's coming out weirdly.
No. Chemistry words are.
I
majored.
I majored in stuff like
It's the
that.
most
So
pretentious shit you've ever seen in your life.
marshmallows, ice cream. Look at that.
Hydroxychloroquine.
Oh yeah, here's anyhow. So back to the boomers and why they are the greatest
Wait, right
generation.
down there. Wait, hold on. It's a gelatin is a collection of
Peptides and proteins and partially hydrolysis of collagen.
So there you go. Extract from skin and bones.
So basically, everything you're not eating, they throw it in a big tub and they sell it to you as gelatin. And then, how brilliant! Think about this. How brilliant was the Jell O man? Like, where did he have to go to in his mind to be like, oh my God, I have all these animal parts. I'm just going to boil them down and make aspic. But no, wait, I'm going to sell it. This is what people don't want to eat. I'm going to sell it and make people pay for it. And I'm going to put sugar and this is the genius of that generation, right? Market it. We all know Jell O. We all eat Jell O. Like for Christmas,
yeah,
who
but that
doesn't
was like
have?
the baby boomers. Like that wasn't the baby boomers. That was
That may
like
be
the
before.
greatest generation, the silent generation.
When was Jell O? When was Jell O? Who started the Jell O factory? I just remember as a kid we got sold a lot of Jell O.
I know that it was big in the 50s and 60s, but it wasn't.
That's
it wasn't
the boomers.
Yeah, but I'm telling you,
or maybe it's not.
No, it would be the generation before them.
Okay.
It'd be like the silent
I agree
generation.
with you. I think
but
part of that, like,
but it's pretty
generating demand is definitely an interesting thing.
Right.
But like, there's like that's happened a bunch of times in like the food industry. Like orange juice is another example. Like, I don't know, sometime early in the 1900s, like there were way too many orange trees that were planted. And they're like, how the hell are we going to sell all these oranges? Because they're cutting down the orange trees. And they basically convinced the population, at least in the United States, that orange juice is like part of a healthy breakfast and it has vitamin C and stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's easier to drink a juice than to eat an orange.
Oh yeah. I mean, you can have 3 oranges worth in a glass of juice rather than having an orange.
Yeah.
Right. But
is that funny? And then maybe that started our juice craze, because before then I'm not sure.
I mean, it definitely started the whole
maybe.
Juice at breakfast time.
Yeah, breakfast time.
Thing.
I mean, I don't necessarily like what happened with that. Like the fact that they convinced people to drink this sugary ass drink. For breakfast.
But as kids, see, this is what we're talking about. This
like
sugar. So like the Pop-Tart, the whole Pop-Tart movie, or what's called Frosted, it was super funny because we all know now, like. We know now that sugar really is not that great for you. And what do? Like I do write about a bake shop, so I feel sometimes a little bit bad about it because I do love baking and I use like sugar, butter, flour. I use things that whatever.
We're all on this like low carb, no carb diet, and she'll just like make.
I have to.
Like sugary things.
But it's because we crave sugar. Once you've had sugar, you crave it, and sugar is from a plant, right? So it is kind of natural. It is.
I think it's in a lot of things.
It's delicious. It makes food really good. But I definitely think it was put into so many things in that one generation. You know, the greatest generation who fought the war had oatmeal. They didn't really put sugar in their oatmeal. They had eggs, bacon, that kind of stuff for breakfast, maybe toast, bread, blah, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden we have cereal. Then we have cereal with sugar. And then as Jerry Seinfeld's brilliant movie. It's pretty funny. I mean, it was a little ridiculous.
Did you see it?
I did. I watched it. It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix?
And then I canceled Netflix because I'm like, why am I paying for Netflix? And then my son Jim, Seattle Jim, as he's known on the pod, is called me and he's like, did you cancel Netflix? And he got all mad at me. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to pay for it anymore. He goes, Mom, all of my movie watching history is on there. And you just erased it. And now I used to he would get stuff recommended to him. He liked that formula. So what did I do? I canceled it.
You should have just said no.
And then
also, why are you okay? Look, he makes a lot more money
than I do.
Next time, make him pay for it.
You could just give him the account, right?
Yeah, just give him the account. Make him pay for it.
But
he wanted to watch one show called Tires that I watched with him, and it was
funny?
like
Stupid.
It's Shane Gillis' show, and it was all right. It was funny, but I
like Shane Gillis.
I don't know. I just don't like watching TV anymore.
I know. Well, that's what my thing is. We paid for so much of it. But anyhow, the Seinfeld movie is on Netflix. If you have Netflix, you might have seen it. Frosted. And it's all about creating the Pop-Tart, the sugary Pop-Tart. So now, pastries, Danish, I can get behind that once in a while to have for breakfast. I mean, literally, I've write about it. But the Pop-Tart is geared towards children, and it's Yeah, and it's all about coming up with this breakfast food that changed the world. And I don't know about you, Geno. Did your mom buy you guys Pop-Tarts when you were kids?
Yeah, every once in a while.
Yeah, once in a while. And I didn't really. I don't know if
I remember you bought quite a bit of
buy
Pop-Tart. We used to get it. I mean, honestly, it's like probably the worst breakfast you could ever have.
It is.
Like,
maybe as like a treat. Sometimes as a snack, maybe. But yeah, they're really sugary.
It's just, it's literally all sugar.
It's
all,
like, wood particles and filler.
Yeah.
And like sugar.
The crust isn't even, it's like
I
all
imagine
lard
that they
and flour.
inject like some cardboard with like syringes full of just chocolate.
Yum.
Just like,
it's not but it's got like berry filling.
Yeah, but it's not real berry. Let's be honest.
No, it's definitely not. It's probably Jell O.
It's probably
Jell O with some fruit in it. But anyhow, it is.
I don't know. It has never tasted like a real jelly in my life.
But in this movie, they make fun of the milkmen because they're if you come up with a Pop-Tart, they're all mad because you're now come up with a breakfast food that doesn't require milk delivering to your house, and then the sugar magnets, because they're using. Did they use corn syrup in it? It was so funny because it's like all the.
Do you think you could bring milkmen back? You think you could bring back like the delivery of milk?
I think they tried, and I think in certain parts of maybe in Europe they still have it.
It's kind of a cool concept.
It was a wonderful concept, but that was when people drank milk. That was when you had children. You gave children.
Yeah, why can't they do it with like the stupid shitty milks that they're making now?
I don't know. We have all kinds
like
of
oat milk. I want the milkman to deliver me some oats. Oat milk.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe that's why you have, like, what are those services where you can just, like, get all your groceries delivered? Maybe that's how we've gone.
Oh, yeah, like, what do you use that a lot?
Yeah, there's a million of them. I mean, there's one for Kroger, there's Instacart, which covers a bunch of different things.
And they deliver it to your house?
Yeah, so, like, Aldi is in Howell, right?
Yeah.
And that's what they do it through.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. It's nice. I mean, it saves me a little bit of time.
It's convenient.
I mean, sometimes it feels like they purposely pick out the absolute worst produce they can find, and they give it to you. Like the onions that have like gashes in them.
Yeah.
They're sprouting already because they've been on the shelf too long.
Yeah, they probably hate the fact they have to deliver you food.
I know.
Which honestly, this is my. I know it sucks and you don't have a ton of time, but just go get your own food.
Yeah, I mean,
like I don't want to trust people with shit I'm gonna put in my body.
Fair enough.
You don't know. Hey, listen to me. They could have pooped on their hands.
Oh, Matthew.
Barely washed them, and then grabbed an onion for you.
Well, I mean,
you can't really wash
like a bag of
onion.
onions, but I get the point.
Yeah, they could have spit all over those onions.
It is interesting how we've gone to that. Like the milkman was a service, and that was a beautiful thing. And then you would recycle the bottles, so you never had these plastic bottle buildup. You just had these little glass bottles, and they would have a little cap
that's
on
something
it.
that I always feel really weird
maybe
about.
Maybe we better bring it back. Like maybe that was a better time.
I don't know.
I like throwing away glass bottles just seems weird to me. It's like you could use this like a million more times, right?
Right.
Yeah, but also too, like you can reuse the glass.
Well, we can recycle the glass.
More than plastic. Like plastic is like. There's really not a lot of plastic that can be recycled. Like the whole like recycled plastic thing is not really real.
Yeah.
Like
it's not as good as we think it is. I think that's
it's
what
not.
I think that's
it's
the
really
lie.
Not. It is a lie. It's like.
But your generation's brought back the like metal bottle or glass bottle, like for water. So I don't see a lot of you guys ever drinking water.
Honestly, like I would rather have metal bottles or cartons, like paper cartons of things, than I would have plastic. But the problem is that plastic is always going to be in those metal things.
Oh, liners?
Yeah. So in order to like in Coke bottles, there's a very thin liner of plastic because it's keeps it from.
No, it is hard. Rusting. So anyhow, like it is, it's really, I don't know, the different, like back to the different generations and all of that. We all have our. We grew up in a certain period of time, and we used the technology we had. So, like maybe the baby boomers really used marketing on TV to really liked advertising. Advertising boomed under them. Your generation gets advertised to now through. Oh my God! Everything.
We are so fucked.
Yeah, we are. You have like 5 different.
All of your social media platforms.
No, you have 5 different ways they're blasting you with shit. It's like TV, your computer, fucking Apple Watch.
They've got their little voodoo doll representation of you for every social media site. They know how to poke you right when you need it.
Yeah,
well,
and the craziest thing is
they show you like a video of like a cat dying, and you're like, this guy kills cats, and you're like,
oh, that's
terrible.
terrible.
My God.
Oh,
in Minneapolis, I need to be a part of this cause. In Minneapolis, like they just target. They know who you are. They know what you like. I stay away from all of that. The craziest thing that I heard was they actually like will formulate the comments for you.
What do you mean?
Like they'll adjust the comments on the videos to match your political leanings
or your thought process.
That is definitely like a thing that is possible.
So
like,
this
for
is
sure.
Oh, 100%. Yes. I think Reddit does it, or like Facebook does it, something like that. Yeah, it's crazy. It's like even on like TikTok, like YouTube, like TV. Netflix too. Like everything is so geared towards.
It's
like,
probably going to pop right up because we're talking about it.
Yeah.
But this is the thing. Like this, we now have targeted marketing where you can say something, and it pops up on your phone, and that is absolutely. I do feel that that's going a step far beyond what marketing should be. So anyhow,
it's so invasive.
we can't avoid it. But for turning off your TV, turning off your just not going on your social medias, not using a phone for a while so you can get away from it. But
my favorite...
We all have to learn how to navigate the generation we're born in, right?
Yeah, one of my favorite things was in the show Futurama, where they would like the main character's having a dream, and then the dream was about like these underwear, and he's like, I want to buy these underwear now. So like they could project advertisements into your dreams.
Oh, that's terrible. Oh my God! Like, if you have an advertising,
we're not too far away from that happening.
If you have an advertising in your dream, that's a step too far. So hopefully, hopefully your generation, and are you Gen Z? Or millennial?
I think
whatever.
We're right on the boundary.
Hopefully, you guys, by the time you're like my age, you guys will fight back and be like, "This is enough."
Everybody from my generation doesn't really. Everyone from my grade, who was born in '96, doesn't really act like millennials that much. No, like
you're kind
in my opinion. I mean, I don't know. Like I feel like we're more like the older Gen Z people. Like you just kind of are pretty goofy. Don't really
baby
give a
millennials or older. No, but it is. So it is interesting, and it's it's the world has changed quite dramatically since my childhood, even since your childhood, and you think about the stuff that the kids are growing up with now, that they will never know that earth, that world without all of that noise. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's so much noise.
If in fact they are given,
kids don't have awesome toys.
They don't.
They just have iPads. Yeah, they have iPads and video game consoles, which is cool, but like.
Yeah, got to get them out there building.
Not like building.
Sandbox building. Those are the greatest memories. So
not like building a bunch of Legos or like trying to work on like a project and be like a critical like thinker or anything. It's just like, here's a game where you have to pick up toxic sludge at Arby's while your parents argue about if they can afford the 2 for $20.
Oh my God, so true. It's gotten out of hand.
Play the little toxic sludge game. Like,
but I think what we've done is we've given people, and this podcast particularly, a new kind of meal they could make with parts from animals.
Yeah, hog head cheese.
Gel it.
Yeah. How are you going to turn Arby's sludge and gelatin and
you know
something
what?
nice?
It would be affordable.
I wonder if you could go to a fast food place and get all the scrap food that they have.
Nutritious. I want all your animal parts and.
Mom, I don't even think you have to do that. Listen, that's too hard. I think you just go to a McDonald's or an Arby's, and like at the end of the day when they're gonna throw out all the old food or something, and call it the fast food.
But you're talking about fast food.
Fast food cheese.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be all the scraps from the end of the day.
Here at the Nearly Literate podcast, we buy animal parts.
Yeah, we.
No, we do not. No, we do not.
Yeah,
no, we do not.
Stale buns from McDonald's.
Yeah.
And all the almost
turn those
half-expired
into. We could
meat.
fry those up and turn them into something.
You fry them. You jam them into Jell O.
But you got to be creative, and I think, and this is the whole point.
You could solve world hunger.
Yeah. Well, I think we've solved.
I think you could solve.
We can do it.
We can do it. We can give it. They keep talking about being hungry in Africa.
I think we're thinking too small with this podcast.
I think we are. No, but here's the. And here, when I started, it was going to be about books. But anyhow, books change the world, and so we are changing the world on this Nearly Literate podcast. But this is it. You create a need. And like our forefathers, we're eating animal parts and aspects.
Yeah, but do you ever think they would
stay alive? And I think we just have to think.
But do you really
be a little more resourceful?
Do you really think that they thought like hog's head cheese would be a thing? Like you think they were like, this is a possibility?
They did not have grocery stores. They lived farm to table. People wanted to go back there. They also knew enough not to waste any part of anything, really, because like that was the gift, right? The gift of food is like you find it, it's on the earth, and you want to respect it by using all the parts,
Yeah.
So anyhow, but so this was like
we could solve world hunger.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think gelatin might be the answer to.
It might be the answer
to all world hunger.
I mean, I'm going to go out and buy some Jell-O. We're going to experiment. I'm
I
going
bet
to put
you
Jell-O recipes. Who wants more Jell-O recipes?
There's this movie. There's this like post-apocalyptic movie about like a train that like never stops moving.
Oh, that's Snowpiercer.
Yeah, Snowpiercer.
Yeah.
Do you watch Snowpiercer?
No, I just know about it. I know people. People try to connect it with like
the entire Earth's population, because there's another ice age, is the only surviving people are on this train that's constantly going around the Earth. It is a nightmare. And the way that they survive is they have these protein gelatin bars.
Oh, God. Okay, well, there we go.
They're made out of, like, grasshoppers.
Yeah.
It's, like, so gross.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. On that note, it was a pleasure. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Yeah.
We're coming back, and we're looking forward to having some great interviews and some fun conversations.
Yep. We're back, baby.
Questions.
Yeah, I'm glad to be on.
You'd like to ask us a question?
This is fun.
Yeah, we're glad we have Geno. It's just been a pleasure. Geno is he's done a great job with the tech already.
Yeah, I'd turn the camera back on me, but technical issues right now.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for listening, and we will see you later. Take care.
Feed the world with gelatin.
Like and follow.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Africa needs our gelatin from our fast food industry.
Go out and experiment with Jell-O.
Yes.
Have a great
Not
day.
too much though. Like nothing sexual, guys.
Matthew, what the? No. Go out.
You said experiment.
No.
There's somebody out there.
All right. Goodbye. Have a great week.
All right.
Nice. That was good.
Not a little.